Mother Antonama, who has been steering the chariot all these years, for the last 6 years, the day that I have laid in my office and entrusted the office in the hands of Mother Antonama, and the 1st of January 2015, till yesterday. Again, she gave me back that emblem, the stamp of the congregation, laying down her office yesterday in front of the chapter members. So, traveling back is 6 years. I firmly believe that Mother Antonama had a good planning, and planning, she was very careful because she has kept the Holy Spirit in front of her and she was walking behind her, quoting Father Trevor in the morning. And she was executing the plans and she was very cautious. In making, whenever there was a failure, I believe that she was very courageous. Therefore, there's a way to succeed in the delicate world of today, and I warm-heartedly having experienced the planning, executing, and failures that she faced. It was all that person I also experienced the carefulness of planning and cautiousness in executing, and also being courageous whenever she failed. Therefore, I warmly welcome Mother Antonama to the dais to place before us the record of the journey that she has traveled with us, or rather, we have traveled together with her and with the power of the Holy Spirit. Now, let us all give a big hand, welcoming Mother to the dais. So, traveling a mile is easy, but traveling 365 days a year and into 6 years is not that easy. It's not that easy. Therefore, as I have said, this is ups and downs, success and failures, and strength and weaknesses. Everything. She has put it in black and white. She has been telling us in the last 1 year and different meetings and different online programs, and putting us the first time at the direction of Father Trevor. She has sent all the materials from journalists to the communities and to the persons who go through, even a report. We have never so far in the past, we never sent a report to the communities and to the individuals. But this is the first time at the request and the inspiration of the Father, Mother has sent the whole report to the members of the congregation, to the delegates very specially. So this is the plain fair figure of Mother Antonama for doing so, and I heartily welcome to put forward. I know she is more tense than me now. My tension is gone. Now, Mother is more tense because she is going to speak out or putting forward in black and white the real report, what it has been in front of us so far. So I heartily welcome Mother. Kindly take the chair.
Morning, Father, and good morning, sisters. Good morning. Thank you, Mother. I stand here before you to present the report of 6.5 years of our travel, general team travel, along with you in the congregation. The congregation of the Sisters of St. Anne, Virantipuram, 6th July 2021. 26th Ordinary General Chapter. Father has asked us to give the condensed report of almost it is 300 pages. I have condensed it for 10 pages. So you will get only the highlights. The detailed report has been sent to you, and a short executive summary of my report has been sent to you yesterday and previously to your communities. So I am here to present this. Then let us have a glimpse of the report. Open your eyes, wide open your ears, so that you will not doze off while the report is done. From me and my little team to you all sisters, a warm welcome. Joining with the church, live the present with passion and embrace the future with hope. Going out today to all the world, proclaiming joyful witness to the gospel. Traveling with Jesus, go into all the world. These were the last words which Jesus spoke to his followers and which he continues to address us today. Traveling with our foundress, Mother Gnanavani, the servant of God, and taking into consideration the theme of 26th Ordinary General Chapter, arise, go on your journey, trusting in the promise of the Lord. Sisters, the world is in wait for our travel. Men and women who have lost all hope, families in difficulty, abandoned children, young people without a future, the elderly, sick and abandoned, those who are rich in the world's goods but impoverished within, men and women looking for a purpose in life, thirsting for the divine in this pandemic crisis. So let us take a moment to ask ourselves in silence, what is my response as a sister of Saint Anne of Pereguram to all the above said things? Do I sail with the trends of the world? Do I sink, unable to go along? Do I swim against the current as the master did all through his life? Preamble of the report. We are invited to live our present with passion, to embrace the future of our life and mission with hope, and go out to the world bearing joyful witness to the gospel. As the theme of the general chapter connotes, let us arise where we are, take up the journey with complete trust in God's promise. We realize the need to review our life and mission and to return to the original inspiration of our congregation so that we may reinvent ourselves to be more relevant religious in the challenging present world. 25th Ordinary General Chapter. 25th Ordinary General Chapter was conducted on the theme New Ways of Being in Mission through Presence. Led us to define our identity, charism, spirituality, and mission of our congregation. I, together with my team, remember with gratitude our election as the General Council for the years 2015 to 2021. The 25th General Chapter chalked out a number of core lines of action to keep our charism alive and opened up the horizon of possibilities for various initiatives. With the distribution of our responsibilities, the general team swung into action without any further delay. The entire sexennium had a particular theme drawn up from the directives of 25th General Chapter, which led us to our annual gatherings and annual themes as retreats, recollections, seminars, celebrations, and other events. And you all know what are the different themes that are being displayed on the PPT. I wish to present to you about the life of the congregation in the last 6.5 years, only in a nutshell. First and foremost, we begin with the first chapter, that is chapter of formation and incorporation. This chapter begins with includes vocation promotion and formation. But vocation promotion report I will leave to my consultant who will present today. Formation and incorporation. Formation and incorporation chapter has 4 segments. 1, vocation promotion. Second, formation. Both it has 2 phases, initial and ongoing formation. And third, challenges faced in the formation. Fourth, formation personnel. Sisters were encouraged to promote vocations through vocation promoters meetings, personal letters, province and general newsletters. Every year, all the sister jubilarians did commendable work for the vocations along with the in-charge consultants and local vocation promoters. I wish to draw the attention to concerns here. Treating vocation promotion as top priority, committed involvement of the sisters, participation of every sister and of those heading the institutions, need for proper norms for the selection of the candidates, and emphasis on the quality and especially vocations from other states. Second point, formation. Our formation is in 2 phases. Formation has been given the utmost priority at the general and provincial chapters and assemblies. Our formation programs are planned on the basis of the demands of our consecrated and apostolic life and following the spirit of the charism of our congregation. It is carried out in 2 phases, namely initial formation and ongoing formation. Formation again has different sectors. First, aspirancy and intermediate studies. Second, post-cleansing. Third, novitiate. Fourth, juniorate. And fifth, tertiary program. This is initial formation. Aspirancy and intermediate studies. The aspirancy in its present state consists of a year of formation, which includes nourishing their personal, spiritual life, fostering their spirit of prayer and devotion, enabling them to appreciate the community living, developing competence in vernacular and English languages and technical skills. The emphasis during this time was to be initiated to the life of prayer and understanding of the gospel, to be equipped with the language and other skills, that is English, Telugu, music, cooking, gardening, etc. To develop one's personality, to study deeply of sacraments and divine office, to acquire knowledge about life and the spirit and mission of our founders, to help the sisters in the convents and the church pastoral activities, to introduce oneself to Franciscan spirituality and to be deeply rooted in the same. Points to ponder here for our reflection and decisions. First point, we are however in dire need of qualified personnel to accompany the candidates at the intermediate studies to discern with them the genuineness of their vocation. I have personally visited the houses of formation regularly and met these concerns. Second point, our congregation needs to articulate and spell out the basic requirements and dispositions of a candidate in view of the needs and demands of ministries in the congregation and context. Next stage of post-lency. It is a time of preliminary formation to novitiate, Hostels of both provinces were accommodated in Hyderabad, Provincial, Madina, and Gujarat till 2017. Now they are in Karnataka. Proposal from this post-NC period, separation of community from the formation house. Next stage of formation is novitiate. This period of formation could be termed as the most important and crucial period in the life of the candidate. In order to help the novices to experience the integrated formation, the following activities were held: psychology, scripture, theology, religious life, constitutions and directory, history of the congregation, exposure for programs, 4 months of regency, field work, listening, reading, meditating, studying, personalizing the word of God. 1 month retreat by directors of novices. Communitarian and liturgical movements are celebrated with due solemnity. Special attention on the virtues of truthfulness, charity, humility, and gentleness, and cultivating the spirit of asceticism. Integrated congregational novices meetings were organized and attended by our novices. I visited novitiate on several occasions and for several reasons. Pointers for this stage of formation. In novitiate, we need to resolve the following concerns: the misplaced motivations, psychological immaturities, adaptability to religious lifestyle, lack of religious experience, and social media influence. Thanks to all the formators, right from the stage of aspirancy till the novitiate, for your relentless job. We have a systematic curriculum from aspirancy to novitiate, and it is being moderated by Mother Fatima Mary, the formation coordinator. Next, juniorate. The themes and the deliberations of both general and provincial chapters suggested the congregation to revitalize its missionary nature by proper planning and formation. Accordingly, the spiritual, pastoral, and missionary programs and courses were arranged regularly every year during the month of May and October for the junior sisters, grouping them according to to the year of profession. Separate retreats were conducted too. Pre-post novitiate experience for the first and second year junior sisters were conducted every year. We ensured that with a proper formation plan in the congregation, the junior sisters were closely accompanied in their growth as religious sisters by their junior directors and superiors. With the introduction of skill training program, the sisters were helped to get into the field of ministry. During the last 6 years, there were about 60 seminars and training programs that were organized for the junior sisters. Pointers. It is also at times difficult to find role models as they were in the past for juniors. They find a gap between the idols they profess to live by and the actual life situation. They come from the world of digital media and live in the digital world of digital media, which is useful at the same time harmful if not handled with maturity. Appreciation to all the junior directors by name for animating the juniors. Tertiary program. As per the contents of GC 26, at the end of the junior age, tertiary of 4 months from July 15th to November 15th was conducted at the general age from the year 2016. It was conducted under supervision of Mother Fatima Mary, Sister Mary Leena, and Sister Amala Mary Joseph. Professors from theologians of Delhi, Bangalore, Chennai, etc. were invited for the input sessions, and 1 month Ignatian retreat was conducted by Father Alasanai, a Jesuit, for 3 consecutive years. 70 sisters and from the 5 batches, starting with the batch 2016, are beneficiaries of this training internship program. A booklet with all the details of the internship program is prepared every year. In the year 2019 and 2020, a book was published with the experiences of the tertians. So I express my gratitude to Sister Ramana who initiated them. Thank you all the tertiary directors for helping them. Ongoing formation. This is the second phase of the formation. Ongoing formation calls for the will of the individual religious persons. Religious life would need a revival of autonomous self-discipline. Besides regular retreats, both short and long-term refresher courses, seminars and special retreats were organized for the sisters, especially before the perpetual professions and before the jubilee year of their commitment. Special orientations on various apostolates like evangelization, education, social service, healing ministry, boarding, and finances were conducted. To enhance the spiritual energies of the sisters, congregation was generous enough to arrange 4 trips to Jerusalem. It began with the senior most sisters who can travel and ended with the professor sisters of the year 1984. Formation personnel. A lot of reflection. It has now we have come to third segment of the formation personnel. A lot of reflection, regular biannual meetings and discussions were conducted along with the provincials to design the curriculum in order to improve the quality of formation in the congregation. They were given several opportunities to attend online and offline meetings. Mother Fatima, with lot of formation and administration expertise, was appointed as a formation coordinator from the year 2016. There are junior directors to accompany the junior sisters. There are 24 sisters who studied theology in our congregation, and more than 50 sisters who completed their religious studies in the congregation. Sister Bala Malameri, Sister Anthony Paul, Sister Anand Kumari completed their PTH during these 6 years. Sister Gnanavani completed her diploma in formative course. 3 of our sisters completed their licentiate in Sister Mary Reena, Sacred Scriptures and continuing her PhD. Sister Amalaveri Josephine in Canon Law, Sister Saujini Kumari in Biblical Theology, and she is awarded doctoral scholarship by Urbania University, Rome, and she continues her PhD studies. Let us turn our eyes into the challenges faced today for each one of us as we are in ongoing formation. Social and spiritual development. Since we all among all the formation stages, the candidates to religious life come from a variety family background with different stages of human development. Their psychosexual, psychosocial, and faith development must be seriously addressed in all the stages of formation. Social media addictions. This needs an immediate attention of the general chapter. Lack of transparency. There should be a well-structured ongoing formation manual to guide the sisters with regard to our transparency. Expansion of our horizons. Our aspirants mostly hail from Andhra Pradesh and Telangana, except a few from Orissa and Northeast states, very seldom from other states. Can we not launch into other states so as to reveal the global faces of our congregation? Let's think. Can we rethink the objectives, the structures, the style, and method of formation so as to remain relevant in the context of the various challenges that we face today? For a minute, ask ourselves. I pose the following questions for our reflections and deliberations. Can we rethink, as I said in the previous matter, of the objectives, structure, style, and method of formation as to remain relevant in the context of various challenges of the world we face today? Can we reorient our formation to have a fine blend of spiritual and human dimensions? Can we revise our commitments time to time as a part of ongoing formation? We go to the next chapter, our communion with God. The general administration works closely in collaboration with the provincial administration, who are involved directly in the life and mission of the congregation. We evaluated the journey traveled, and it seems to us in general more encouraging and positive. Only the Spirit knows the true fruits, but we have seen the birth of a new interest, renewed enthusiasm, a new way of thirst for personal prayer, common prayer, mercy rosaries, recollections, retreats, Bible reading, constitution and history reading, novenas, etc., among the majority of the churches. Our communion with God is deepened by several sectors. First is our prayer life. Second, our Eucharistic participation in the Eucharistic celebrations and adoration of the Blessed Sacrament, spiritual reading, sacrament of reconciliation, and monthly recollections. So, pointers to ponder over. The challenges in the area of prayer life are lack of creative ability, life in the community disturbed several times, distractions arising out of personal interests and works, busy daily schedules in the apostles, and the individualistic tendencies. Next chapter, communion in community, sisterly life in common. It is again divided into 4 segments. A, fidelity to the Constitution. B, praying community. C, consecrated life or evangelical life. D, community meetings. Fidelity to the congregation. Our founder, Mother Gnanavani, is a great example for nurturing the community spirit. On the whole, everyone values and tries to observe the proper law in the congregation. It is accepted as a sure guide to fulfill our vocation as sisters of St. Anne curriculum. It has been a point of reference in our personal and communitarian apostolic choices. B, praying community. Apart from the personal and community prayer, Eucharist is given its central place and various devotions are promoted. Like as I said before, Divine Mercy Chaplet, Man and Mass Promotion, St. Anne, St. Francis of Assisi. As a result, devotion to Mary and St. Anne is promoted and love for our founders has evidently increased for the past 6 years. C, consecrated life, that is our evangelical life. The above chastity helps us to commit ourselves more fully and avail ourselves fully to the mission. The people in our mission appreciate our celibate life and our openness towards one and all to accept them as our brothers and sisters. It is not, however, without the dangers such as seeking self-fulfillment, inordinate attachments, and lack of effective maturity. Most of the communities observe the over poverty in living and being. However, this virtue has not become a reality in the life of every sister. It is observed that there is a tendency in some of us to act independently without consulting our dependents. To a great extent, sisters live the work of obedience in faith with a sense of responsibility. However, the problem, lack of faith, certain degree of individualism, media addictions, and self-righteousness attitude reduce one's accountability to the superiors, affect the daily living of this world. Point community meetings. Sisters come together once a month for community assembly, and this has been regularized, and review the spiritual and community life and temporal administration of the convent and institutions. The guidance given by the superior general and provincials and the proper preparation of the agenda was very helpful in conducting the meetings. All the communities are organizing community assembly regularly. However, it is observed that the participation and impact of community meetings on the sisters are not so effective. So it calls for our attention in encouraging each other by sharing and open dialogue. The animation of the community at the local level has become a challenge to the superiors in the modern world. Most of the sisters live joyfully their religious commitments. However, the discontentment of few is a matter of great pain and concern for the others. We have to grow in taking a mature responsibility for our own choices and decisions, and thus be strengthened in our vocational commitments to God and to our mother congregation. During the canonical and contact and sick visits, priority was given to the value of listening to the joys and difficulties of the sisters, their concerns and desires. Areas of immediate concern and improvement in this community living. The increase in the tendency of inappropriate urge for modern media of communication, TV serials or mobiles, cell phones, Facebook, email, internet, even though useful, is at times being misused, is one of the main causes we have assessed for the vocation crisis. Room culture, individualism, and community disturbances is another reason. Undue attachment to families and deviation from the religious spirit, excessive traveling to families, and long stay at home is a cause of great comparison among one another. A silent indifference among the sisters without forgiving one another, de-promoting the sisterly communion. Lack of genuine love and family spirit of the sisters in the community leads to non-acceptance of one another, creates a tension among the members, and there is a danger of losing the sense of kin and sense of belongingness to the community, province, and the congregation. Enclosure rule, silence rule, dress code rule have to be taken care by the local superiors. Next chapter, organization and government. Organization and development is the vision of the congregation. It is undertaken by general administration, provincial administration, and local administration, that is local communities. So to organize this, the life and mission of the congregation, as it is rooted in all these different sectors, the general council meetings, the extended council meeting, general council meeting with the superior, with the provincial superiors meeting, society governing body meetings, and meetings of the executive committee and commissions to facilitate the organization and development of the congregation effectively was conducted. And you made use of every opportunity of visiting the community as effective means to foster religious and team spirit in the communities. During my visits, I assessed the spiritual life, pastoral missionary activities of the community. I gave priority to attend to the sisters and understand their concerns. During the canonical and simple visits to the community, I conducted community prayers, meetings, guided the sisters to maintain fraternal love, CSSA spirit, and encouraged them to imitate our founder's life. A special attention on the formation of juniors and sisters has been the priority during our visitations. These visitations are, without any doubt, the most important means of communications and of mature mutual familiarity. Therefore, at the conclusion of every visit, I always presented a written report indicating our comments and guidance. This has been directed to the community administration and are combined with the dialogue during a final meeting with them. What are the results or impacts of these reports? This is a question that the General Council asks itself. The report tends to contain precise guidance which on many occasions falls by wayside, never turning into concrete actions. Perhaps it would be good to think about some of the way of follow in order that there might be more results later on. We foster and maintain a very good relationship with local ordinaries of the church. Our presence, life, and mission in various dioceses are much appreciated. Our sisters actively collaborate with the parishes in pastoral and spiritual activities with great enthusiasm. We have also initiated a collaboration with like-minded congregation and NGOs. As Superior General, I have represented the congregation in various meetings held by the Union of International Superiors General UILG, Association of Franciscan Family in India, OFI, and Catholic Religious of India, CRI. It has been my privilege to be part of the third and fourth ordinary provincial chapters of Hyderabad and Guntur provinces. The history of purchasing my Gnanavani place began on 19th January 2016 during the canonical visitation of St. Anne's Convent, Tiruppuram. It has been a great moment of blessing during the last 6 years to celebrate the silver and golden jubilee of our sisters, convents, and institutions. In purchase of this land, late Reverend Father Jayaras has played a vital role. May his soul rest in peace. In pursuance of venerable status of our founders, the congregation promoted her spiritual life to a larger extent. More emphasis was given to deepen the knowledge of our founders, and several classes were conducted by Mother Lima Rosario for almost all the sisters to infuse this spirit of founders. We have established overseas ministries in Italy, Tortona, West Africa, and Germany. Bishops, priests, and people are extremely happy with the services of our sisters. They are given immediate promotions because of extra miles they are willing to walk in their services. We have our own societies and properties now in some of the countries. Seventh chapter, Development, Vitality of the Congregation. Development covers all aspects and areas of organization as one is interlinked with the other. Development indicates that the congregation is moving in the right direction. It is also a sign of dynamism and hope for the future. As on July 6, 2021, we are 398 in number, engaged in various activities of spiritual, moral, and social dimensions. There are 112 candidates being trained in 3 stages under the guidance of 8 formators. In the past 6 years, we have opened 11 new communities for undertaking various outstanding activities. Our members are of greatest and real assets. The vitality with which our religious congregation pursues its apostolic mission depends upon the number and quality of its members. In fact, the real strength of the congregation is its members, who work with vision and efficiency. Many candidates being trained in 3 stages under the guidance of 8 formators. Our departed sisters finished their race victoriously and attained their eternal glory. The congregation salutes all the sisters who spent their energy, time, and untirelessly their life for the growth and kingdom values. Slight decrease in the membership of the sisters because there were 22 secularized sisters who went out, 22 of them, and 39 deceased members. We lost in this we lost 61 sisters during these 6 years, because of which there is 410 sisters were handed over to me. Now there are 398 sisters. So there is a loss of 12. The congregation is deeply concerned about the loss of vocations due to dichotomy of spiritual and worldly values. Despite the various measures to deepen the spirituality of the sisters by way of veneration, arranging spiritual courses, seminars, courses at discernment location by professional counselors, regular community assemblies, prepared recollections, study and deep reflections of our founders, of our Franciscan spirituality, we couldn't help it. We also ventured into affiliating our school at Bangalore to ICSC, opened one new school in Asif Nagar, opened new school in Nandula, 4 special schools for differently abled children. We have parallel English medium schools for the rural development children to have education in English medium. Next chapter of the formation of our report, focus and main thrust during the years 2015 to 2021. 25th general chapter directives were as the indicators for me and my council during the last 6 years for the animation of the sisters to lead CSSA charism and missionary spirituality. The main thrust of the chapter, understanding the religious life as a constant search for the authentic life in God, their thirst was laid on the spiritual renewal of the sisters. Growth initiatives in the ongoing formation of the sisters. The canonical visitation and short visits of the sisters, provisions to the communities helped to renew once again our commitment and increase our zeal for the mission. It brought about bond of unity and increased faith. All the sisters of our congregation participated in the preparatory phase of the 26th Ordinary General Chapter. Meeting with the Superior General provincials personally during meetings, visits, helped the sisters in their personal growth. They also animate the whole group either at the beginning or at the end of the retreats. The congregation newsletters, regular monthly circulation of reflections and communication, and the province newsletters are informative and create an awareness of various activities in different parts of the congregation and deepens the sisters' love for the congregation. Every year, spiritual renewal program, special prayer sessions, recollections, 3 retreats were organized for the junior sisters before their vows renewals and for silver and golden jubilee days. 4 months intensive program was organized for the junior sisters before their perpetual vows. Promotion of Mother Gnanavani was done throughout these 6 years. Regular animation programs were arranged for superiors and sisters in different apostolates. Congregation conducted subject-wise seminars and training classes for the sisters and sister teachers of our English medium school for the first time. Superiors Day, Seniors Day, Juniors Day, etc. was celebrated on 21st of every month, the death date of our beloved founders. Promotion of sisterly communion. The sisterly communion in the community depends to a large extent on effective animation of the community. Animation of the community was intensive during these 6 years of administration. A good number of programs were conducted for superiors and effective animation and counseling skills. New superiors were animated at NBCLC, NCRI, etc. Superior General attended and addressed Dr. Sisters General Body meeting at Chai on 18th January 2019. She was happy to represent the congregation. Third one, promotion of human development. Training and seminars were organized by all the institutions for class 4 employees on personal development, health and hygiene and healthy relationship. Concerning the need of the locality, the neglected aged people were given special care. The differently abled children were given much importance by establishing 4 new schools and 1 adult home. They were provided with the uniforms for 2 consecutive years. Our concern for the poor was shown by rising salaries, implementing the rules as per the guidelines of our education policy. Natural disaster management was taken up at Kerala and COVID-19 in areas of all our communities. Fourth one, CSSA website and congregational apps. A long cherished dream of having our own website, which was a resolution. The last chapter was realized on 27th October 2019. It details the data analysis of the congregation and an app for the whole congregation with the data of sisters and history of the congregation is in place. Digital literacy. Being aware of the importance of the digital proficiency in this fast changing world. We as a congregation try to equip ourselves with the knowledge of the computers and digital language. Digitalization of secular studies have been taken up. Online meetings of superiors and heads of the institutions were conducted during the pandemic situation. Six, collaboration with the lay people in our education ministry. An important and great step was as per the directives of GC 26. We as a congregation have taken in the past 6 years our collaboration with the lay expertise for the betterment of our mission. We have developed an app for education. In this app, we find information about the schools, their history, and their objectives. We have taken new steps in the education field by training our sisters as teachers and sister teachers. Next one. Next chapter of the report. Ordinary General Chapter. Preparations. Every individual sister and community actively participated in the preparations of GC 26 with regular prayer and hour of adoration, fasting on Friday. 26 ordinary general chapters orientation document in a method was prepared and circulated. Sisters read it, answered the questionnaire. Working document was prepared with all the proposals and sent to the communities and capitulars. Orientation on 2nd and 3rd February 2020 for general and provincial teams and formators 5. Father James Matthew, CMI at St. Anne's General took place. Timeline for GC 26 prepared and circulated to the communities on April 21st, 2020. 26th ordinary general chapter was announced and on January 21st, 2020, convocation was done. 12 monthly recollections and different themes in preparation for the chapters were given by Superior General and circulated by Superior General and circulated. Sisters answered the questionnaires in every recollection paper. Questionnaire 1 and 2 prepared with a lot of enthusiasm by the preparatory committee. Individual evaluation and community evaluation was done precisely. Online legislative meetings of 34 were conducted to the changed amendments of constitutions and directory or proper law and many other preparations. This is a report in short. And what are the future planning that we can make? Focus on formation of formators. Emphasis is needed in preparing the personnel to take up the mission in India or abroad. 3 evangelical works are the biggest challenges in the modern world today, so we need to take it seriously. Emphasis on in-depth spirituality and deeper communion with God and personal holiness, authenticity and spirituality of following Christ. Emphasis on vocation promotion and appointment of full-time vocation promoters and thirst and witnessing the life in every sphere. Emphasis on sisterly love and sense of commitment, witnessing life in the community. Concentration on growth and development of media and social service mission. We want to concentrate, we need to concentrate on the rural vision in collaboration with the corporate sector, accompanying the poor in our upper state for their empowerment, integrated formation of students in our educational institutions, accompaniment in spiritual missionary journey of our sisters for the sustenance of vocations and quality service, clean and green environment in all our convents and institutions, cashless transactions and transparency, national education policy and environmental care. These are our future concerns. In conclusion, we are living in a unique time in the universal church and in the congregation, and some significant events of the congregation, especially the grace of completing 123 years of congregation life. In the light of this event, our faith is to be strengthened, life is to be renewed, and we need to become the voice of new life. The detailed report of the individual and community evaluation and the report of the life and activities of the congregation and the temporal administration for the past 6 years will give us the concrete basis for our renewal process. Thus, it is extremely important to know the authentic spirit and mission of our founders and share it consciously. Our reflections and sharing of the theme arise go on our journey trusting in the promise with direct or missionary zeal with new impetus. Let this 26th general chapter be a fresh call for the new expressions of sacrifices, service, simplicity of life that shows we are in love with God and His mission. So let us all earnestly pray to the Spirit so that He may free our hearts and our minds of all that may hinder us from what has been handed to us as a gift, so that we can ever be more authentic followers of Christ and daughters of Mother Gnanavani. May Mary, our Mother, direct us, and Saint Anne, our heavenly patroness, intercede for us, and Mother Gnanavani, our foundress, inspire us from time to time in following the directives of the chapter in truth and spirit. I express that I was fortunate to be closely associated with the life and mission of the congregation and all our dear sisters all these years, along with my general team and many of you, and our former superior general, Mother Fatima, present and former provincial superiors and their teams, who have the competence and audacity to live and work with me for the Lord. I express my great gratitude to God for the riches of this assembly, for the presence of the Spirit among us, and thank my council and my team member, Secretary and Vasa, and the congregation for giving me this great opportunity of serving the congregation. Thank you, sisters, for your patience listening. I think I'm in time.
Mother, please be seated in the chair. At the time of going to the report of the Superior General, left us a sense of pride. Also a moment of faithful journey to the report left us with a moment of speechlessness. A moment of faithful journey of the Superior General left us with a moment of speechlessness. Isn't it, sisters? As delegates, we are blessed. Blessed the time of going through the long report, which has been concise very much and presented to us. The countless blessings that the Lord has showered on our congregation. And we deeply appreciate our Superior General, who has coined so well, so systematically well, the verse and arranged it with a fine coined words and expressed well-formulated content within the context and effects, achievements, statistical data of life,